saw the light.
Sorry. We found out that it came from a Texas license plate and that they did that kind of work at the Texas State Penitentiary.
Thank you, Wes, very much. I really appreciate it.
Anytime.
Bye-bye. I knew it. I knew it. I was sure of it.
You sound like you won the Irish sweepstakes.
Just talking to Wes Knutson on the telephone. He's the guy that covered the Dobson case up there in Boston for one of the wire services. He's got all sorts of contacts. He's been doing a little bird dogging for me.
Allison?
No, it has nothing to do with her. Not directly, anyway. It's about that buckle I found in Rachel's room, one with the initials JF on it. I had a hunch that that buckle was made in a prison metal shop. So Wes has been doing some checking for me. It's the first real lead I've got on Chandler.
Now, wait a minute. You say you've got a buckle with the initials JF. How does that give you a lead to Chandler?
Because it was made from metal tabs, Dad. The kind of tabs that some states use on their license plates. It had part of a serial number on the back of it. Now, some prisons use these tabs in their metal workshops, you know, discarded metals. That's exactly where this belt buckle was made. In the Texas State Penitentiary in 1956. There were a couple of dozen men in the penitentiary at that time with the initials JF, but only 6 of them worked in the metal shop. One man's name was Jack Forrest.
Jack Forrest? I don't recall anybody with that name.
No, of course you don't. But somebody with a name like that had to stay on Chandler's farm. Somebody that Chandler knew from prison.
This Forrest, did your friend say why he was in prison?
Oh, yeah, he told me that, too. He was convicted for criminal assault.
Criminal assault?
I keep thinking about Rachel. When we first talked to her, even though she wasn't answering any questions, she kept going on and on about how isolated she and her aunt were. They never had any company. No one ever came to see them. No one.
Well, what you're saying is that Forrest and Chandler may be one and the same man.
Mm-hmm.
Criminal assault. If it is the same man, it's no wonder Rachel's so frightened. But you're thinking about Allison, aren't you?
Yeah. I gotta find out about him and Allison. I gotta find out. I'm off, Dad. I've got a couple of more people to see. And then a few more telephone calls.
Just don't seem possible. Man's supposed to be made in God's image and likeness. It just don't seem possible.
Want to come along with me?
I'm just gonna sit for a spell. You go ahead, I'll lock up for you.
Hello, Connie. Where's Elliot?
He's still at work. What is it, Mike?
Well, I just don't understand the man, that's all. He took on the care of this girl.
Rachel, would you mind going upstairs for a few minutes, please?
Well, I just don't understand him, that's all. He lets her go wandering around the wharf all night by herself, and then he lets her go running up to Chandler.
Chandler?
Yes, that's where she went, right after her class. She can't be left alone like this, Connie, without some kind of supervision, that's all.
Well, what happened?
Nothing happened, but it could have very easily. Connie, you've got to keep her away from Chandler. The man is emotionally disturbed. He's obsessed with the girl. There's no question about that. I don't want him near her, under any circumstances. And frankly, Connie, I'm a little surprised and disappointed that you have so little control of the situation.
Oh, just a moment, Mike. Rachel may be young, but she's not a child. Why, we didn't feel she had to be chaperoned to class. And we certainly didn't have any idea she had any intention of seeing Chandler. Especially since she's made it very clear she's afraid of him. Why did she go there?
I don't know why. I mean, I'm not sure. We're going to have to talk all that out with Elliot. The point is, Connie, the girl isn't mature enough to make certain decisions on her own. I mean, there's no use us pretending that she is.
You know, I think maybe we should talk about you for a while. Instead of Rachel.
Me? What do you mean?
What do you feel for her, Mike?
What do I feel? Well, you know what I feel. I think the girl has a terrific potential. I think that given the proper chances, the girl can develop into rather a remarkable individual.
Is that all?
Well, no, that's not all. I mean, I feel a certain concern for her. She doesn't have any parents. Connie, come off it. The girl is half my age.
You're old enough to be her father, right?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I am. All right, let's say that you were her mother. And you saw that your daughter was becoming, well, involved, so to speak, with me. Now, don't tell me you'd be leading America in song over the idea.
Number one, it isn't just someone like you. It's you, Mike Rossi, one of my dearest friends. And number two, I would be worried if she were my daughter. Not because you're older, but because you're more likely to be serious. And I'm not sure she's ready for that.
Now, that's exactly what I mean. She's gonna feel hurt, she'll feel confused, feel that she's, well, getting cheated out of something.
But I have a feeling that she has a need much deeper than that. One that'll never be satisfied by someone who isn't very mature.
What makes you think that? I mean, did she say anything?
She doesn't need to. I've seen the way she looks at you. I've heard the way her voice changes when she talks about you. And believe me, I've been questioned very thoroughly on the subject.
Well, maybe she's just curious, that's all. I mean, she doesn't know anyone here yet.
She knows enough. I've never been given the third degree about Martin Peyton or Norman and Rita or Rodney.
Well, all right, let's say what you say is correct. That she decides to settle down eventually with someone that's old and sedate like me. Still, like you say, she's going to miss a lot of experiences and have a feeling that she's going to have to catch up on.
Why don't you let Rachel decide that?
Well, why even talk about it at all? It's an impossible situation. She's not ready for anything like that, and neither am I.
Because of Anne? You think it would be a betrayal, don't you?
Well...
You know, when Matthew was born, after Allison left, you told me something. You told me I had to keep my eyes on the life unfolding ahead of me and not on the life rolling up behind.
I loved Anne.
I love Allison, and always will. But when she left, I didn't stop living. Elliot wouldn't let me, and neither would you. I can't tell you how grateful I am. You'll never understand how grateful. You know, we never know when something will come along to make us feel things again. We just have to pray that it will. Matthew came along for me. And I think Rachel may have come along for you.
Betty, is that you?
Oh, I looked for you downstairs when I came in. I should have knocked. I thought you might like a drink before dinner.
That's very thoughtful of you. But not tonight. I've asked Mary to serve a special wine with dinner. Chateau Lucien, 55. It is a very delicate bouquet. One shouldn't intrude upon it.
Then I'd better go change.
Oh, please don't go. I'll have Mary bring you something.
No, I wouldn't want to spoil the Chateau Lucien either.
Come here. Now, tell me about your day. What is the lovely Mrs. Corbin doing this beautiful spring afternoon? Or do you agree that April is the crudest month? Do you know Mr. Elliot's poem, The Wasteland?
I'm afraid not.
Rather somber. I prefer my poems more lyrical.
Mr. Peyton, I hope you won't mind if I excuse myself, but I haven't seen Stephen yet, and I do have to change.
Of course. Forgive me for keeping you.
See you at dinner.
Yeah.
Preview from the continuing story of Peyton Place.
I kept quiet about Jack Chandler too long. I should have blown the whistle on him the minute he stuck his ugly face inside my door. Now it's too late.
You are my servant, just like the maid and the cook. Don't flatter me with your company unless I request it.
Why am I always guilty until I can prove I'm innocent? Tell me, what kind of proof do you want from me this time?